Hobe Sound, Florida, 2016. A young mother's car is found neatly parked by her home. Her wallet, keys, and phone are still inside. Her child is safe. But she's gone. For days, her neighbors prayed she'd come home. For weeks, detectives searched for a trace. What they found instead was a story of betrayal, acid, and a confession that would horrify even veteran investigators. She was a nurse, a mother, a veteran. And what was done to her defied comprehension. For years, the truth stayed hidden, the victims forgotten, the cases left cold, until science revealed what time could not. This is Decades in the Dark, where cold cases are brought back to light. Tricia Todd was 30 years old, an Air Force veteran turned hospice nurse. She lived in the quiet coastal town of Hobe Sound, Florida, a place where everyone knew everyone. To her friends, Tricia was sunshine personified. She loved journaling, painting, and spending time with her daughter Faith. After leaving the Air Force, she devoted her life to helping others in their final days, comforting patients who had no one else. She and her ex-husband, Stephen Williams, had divorced but were still in contact for the sake of their daughter. Tricia, ever compassionate, told friends she wanted peace, not conflict. Even when he frustrated her, she said she believed in forgiveness. No one imagined that kindness would cost her everything. On the night of April 27, 2016, Tricia dropped Faith off with Stephen for his scheduled visitation. It was an ordinary Wednesday. She was supposed to pick her up the next morning. She never came. By the next day, friends grew worried. Calls went unanswered. Her car was found parked just outside her house. Keys in the ignition. Purse and phone still inside. To anyone who knew Tricia, that was unthinkable. She was devoted to her daughter and never went anywhere without her phone. Police found no signs of forced entry or struggle. Just a quiet, still home, like she had stepped out for a moment and vanished. At first, detectives considered a voluntary disappearance. Tricia had recently finalized her divorce and moved to a new home. Some wondered if she simply needed space. But that theory collapsed fast. Her bank cards, social media, and phone completely inactive. They began questioning everyone close to her, friends from church, hospice co-workers, her ex-husband. Stephen was calm, polite, even helpful at first. He said she dropped off Faith, that they said goodbye, and that was the last he saw her. But something felt off. At first, Stephen wasn't the only name on their radar. Police also looked into a man Tricia had recently dated, someone she'd met through church. Friends said she'd been hesitant to start dating again, but he seemed kind. That man was questioned and fully cleared after his alibi checked out. Detectives also investigated whether Tricia could have been targeted by a stranger, possibly a burglary gone wrong or abduction. There had been reports of suspicious activity in the area, including cars parked on rural roads late at night. But those leads went nowhere. Meanwhile, suspicion around Stephen grew. He had a history of being controlling and manipulative. Friends recalled Tricia often downplayed his temper. And there were subtle red flags. He had once been accused of domestic violence by a previous partner, though never charged. When police asked Stephen to come in for a follow-up interview, he hesitated. Then detectives obtained a warrant for his phone records. They showed something disturbing. The night Tricia vanished, Stephen's phone pinged along the route between her home and a nearby wildlife preserve, a remote area he later led police to. Even more damning, Walmart security footage showed him buying muriatic acid, a chainsaw, and cinder blocks days before her disappearance. That was no accident. That was premeditation. Detectives found traces of Tricia's blood in his truck bed and on cleaning tools at his home. Every lie he told unraveled under the microscope of forensic evidence. Under pressure, Stephen finally confessed. But not to murder. He claimed it was an accident, that they argued about money. He shoved her, and she fell, hitting her head. He said he panicked, not knowing what to do. But as he spoke, the truth became clearer. He had bought acid before the argument ever happened. Stephen admitted to dismembering her body with a chainsaw, dissolving remains in acid, and burying what was left in multiple shallow graves inside Jonathan Dickinson State Park. He then drew a crude map for detectives, guiding them to the sites. Search teams recovered fragments of bone, teeth, and jewelry, the only parts of Tricia that remained. Stephen agreed to cooperate only if prosecutors took the death penalty off the table. In 2016, he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. For many, that was unforgivable. Tricia's family had begged for a trial, for full justice. Her brother said in court, he didn't just kill her, he destroyed her. But the prosecutor said the plea was necessary, because without it, Tricia's remains might never have been found. Even as the sentence was read, Stephen showed little emotion. When the full story came out, it broke the small town's heart. Tricia's friends remembered her kindness, her patience, her faith, the same faith she had shown in the man who took her life. In her journal, later recovered from her home, she had written about peace and healing. She wrote that forgiveness was her greatest challenge and her greatest strength. Her family established a scholarship in her name for local nursing students, carrying on her legacy of compassion. Tricia Todd's story isn't a mystery about strangers or hidden killers. It's a tragedy about trust, about how danger can hide in the face you once loved most. Her case wasn't solved by luck or chance. It was solved by forensics, persistence, and truth that refused to stay buried. She believed in grace. And in the end, even after the unthinkable, her family found it. Through answers, through justice, through the power of truth. This is Decades in the Dark, where science brings the past to light. Subscribe for more stories where justice never expires.